Welcome to Money Mind Unlocked. I'm your host, Scott Blaze. Today, we're diving into one of the most misunderstood yet critical topics in personal finance: setting financial goals that actually work. Because let's face it, most people set goals that feel good in the moment but fall apart in execution. I want to save more. I want to get out of debt. I want to invest better. All great intentions, but without clarity, structure, and commitment, they evaporate. This episode is for anyone who's ever felt stuck, anyone who's written down goals on January 1st and forgotten them by February, anyone who wants to stop dreaming and start doing. Let me start with a story. Natalie was 28, working a decent job in marketing. Every year, she told herself, "This is the year I'll save $10. And every year, she fell short. She didn't lack discipline, she lacked structure. One day, frustrated, she sat down with a blank sheet of paper and wrote 3 simple questions. 1. What do I want financially? 2. Why do I want it? 3. How will I get there? And that changed everything. Within 12 months, she didn't just save $10. She created an automated system, built an emergency fund, and booked her dream solo trip to Japan, all while working the same job. What changed wasn't her income. It was her clarity. So let's break this down. Financial goals fail for 3 main reasons. 1. They're too vague. 2. They lack emotional connection. 3. They're not tracked or reviewed. Let's tackle each. First, vagueness. Saying, "I want to save money," is like saying, "I want to get healthy." What does that mean? How much? By when? Why? Instead, use the SMART framework. Specific. Save $5. Measurable. Track it monthly. Achievable. Based on my income. Relevant. For a 3-month emergency fund. Time-bound. Within 12 months. Next, emotion. Your goals need a reason behind them. Without emotional fuel, you'll quit when it gets hard. Natalie didn't save for a number. She saved for freedom. She visualized her trip. She imagined the relief of an emergency fund. That emotional time made her consistent. So ask yourself, why do I want this goal? What will it feel like to reach it? Visualize it. Attach it to your identity. Lastly, systems. Goals without systems are wishes. If you want to save $5, break it down. That's $417 per month. Can you automate that? Can you cut expenses or increase income to make it happen? Use apps like YNAB or Monarch to track. Review weekly. Adjust as needed. We'll go deeper in the next segment. But first, if this episode is helping you rethink your financial future, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps this content reach more people, and it fuels the mission to make financial literacy accessible to all. Let's keep going. Let's now dive into the psychology of financial goal setting. It's not enough to want a goal. You need to believe you can achieve it. That belief is built through evidence, small wins, visible progress, and habits. So here's a tool I call the goal ladder. At the top is your big outcome: save $10 in a year. But beneath that are the rungs. Month 1, save $500. Week 1, save $125. Today, cancel 1 subscription. Pack lunch. Transfer $20 to savings. Each step becomes a proof point. Each action reinforces belief. Too many people stare at the top of the ladder and feel overwhelmed. But when you focus on the next rung, momentum builds. Remember, success doesn't come from doing one big thing once. It comes from doing small things repeatedly. Now let's talk about goal categories. There are 3 types. 1. Survival goals, emergency fund, paying off debt, covering rent. 2. Stability goals, saving for big expenses, building credit, Budgeting. 3. Growth goals. Investing. Business income. Wealth creation. You need to know which stage you're in. If you're struggling to pay rent, don't chase investing returns. Prioritize cash flow, debt elimination, and security. If you're stable, shift focus to optimization, maximizing income, automating savings, growing assets. And if you're in the growth stage, build systems, diversify income, and start legacy planning. Knowing your stage prevents burnout and comparison. Let's meet Jordan. Jordan was 24 and making $2 per month. He wanted to start investing, but had $4 in credit card debt and no savings. Instead of diving into stocks, he focused on survival goals. He built a $1 emergency fund in 3 months, then used the snowball method to tackle debt, paying the smallest balance first. Gaining momentum. Within 9 months, he was debt-free. Only then did he start investing, slowly, consistently, and with confidence. That's the power of knowing your lane. Another critical component? Visual tracking. Use a whiteboard, habit tracker, spreadsheet, anything that shows movement. Why? Because progress you can see is progress you believe in. One of my clients, Mia, printed a $10 savings tracker. Every time she saved $250, she colored in a square. By month 4, that visual feedback made her double her side hustle hours. Not because she had to, but because she wanted to. The mind craves closure. Seeing a visual goal chart 70% full drives you to close the gap. Let's also discuss accountability. Find someone, a friend, coach, or even a podcast like this, that you check in with monthly. Share your numbers, your wins, your struggles. Accountability multiplies clarity, because goals are easier to abandon when no one knows about them. But when someone is watching, encouraging, and reminding you of your why, you push through. We're going to dive into how to reverse engineer big financial dreams in the next segment, like buying a home, retiring early, or building a side business. This is where goals go from abstract to actionable. Stick with me. Now let's talk about how to reverse engineer your big financial dreams into achievable steps. Start with the destination, then work backwards. Let's say you want to buy a house in 5 years and need a $40 down payment. Divide that by 5 years, $8 per year. Break that down to months, about $667 per month. Now ask, can you hit that with your current income? If not, what needs to change? Can you cut costs, boost income, stretch the timeline? This method takes big dreams out of fantasy and places them in your calendar. Reverse engineering also works for debt payoff. If you owe $12 on student loans and want to be debt-free in 2 years, that's $500 per month. You now have a target. Without targets, you're just guessing. You can apply this to any major goal. Starting a business? Estimate startup costs and build a savings timeline. Retiring early? Use retirement calculators to determine your FIRE number and monthly investments needed. Funding a sabbatical? Price out your dream trip and backward plan every cost. The key is clarity. Most people live in goal fog. They say what they want, but they don't know the numbers. And numbers matter, because numbers give your dream a map. And once you have a map, you can begin walking, even if it's slow. Let me give you a powerful exercise. Write down your top 3 financial goals. Now, for each one, answer the following. 1. What is the exact number or outcome? 2. What is the deadline? 3. What monthly action supports it? 4. What's the obstacle? 5. What's the plan to overcome it? This process is simple, but rarely done, because it requires thinking, honesty, and commitment. But do it, and your goals become tools, not just talk. Now, let's talk about a concept that will elevate everything: identity-based goals. Rather than only focusing on what you want, focus on who you must become to achieve it. If your goal is to save $10, don't just track dollars. Become someone who saves consistently, who budgets weekly, who says no to impulse buys. If you want to build wealth, adopt the identity of a disciplined, intentional investor. Identity drives behavior. Behavior drives results. So ask yourself, who do I need to become to hit these goals? Then start living like that person today, even in small ways. Set reminders. Change your phone wallpaper. Write affirmations. Surround yourself with people who reinforce that identity. Because when your identity aligns with your goals, resistance disappears. You no longer try to do the right thing, you simply do it. Because it feels natural. This is how you go from struggling to save $100 to confidently managing six figures. We'll go deeper into emotional blocks and sabotage patterns in the next part. This is where goals become not just financial, but transformational. Now we arrive at the hidden battlefield of financial goal setting: your emotions. Most financial plans fail not because the numbers don't add up, but because emotions sabotage consistency. Fear, shame, guilt, impatience. Let's say you overspend one weekend and break your budget. What happens next? Some people spiral. They say, "I blew it, I'm not good at money," and then abandon the goal altogether. But imagine this instead: you see the slip, forgive yourself, and recommit the next day. That's resilience. And it's a learned skill. Here's a practical tool: the financial reset ritual. Every week, take 15 minutes. Review your spending. Celebrate what went right. Note where you slipped. Make one small tweak. No judgment, just data. Over time, this ritual builds awareness and self-trust. Another common emotion is fear, especially fear of starting. What if I fail? What if I can't stick to it? Flip the question. What if you succeed? What if you stick with it just long enough to prove to yourself that this time is different? You don't need a perfect track record. You need one day of courage, repeated weekly. Now let's talk about joy. Yes, joy belongs in your financial plan. If your goals only include restriction and sacrifice, you'll burn out. Build in joy-based goals. Want to save $1? Great. Allocate $100 for something fun once you hit halfway. Buy the shoes. Book the trip. Celebrate progress. Progress without joy leads to apathy. Joy fuels momentum. Here's another tip. Tell better money stories. Many people say, "I'm bad with money," or "I never stick to goals." Those are scripts, and scripts shape outcomes. Change the language. "I'm learning to be great with money." "I'm becoming consistent." Those shifts seem small, but they rewire your mind. Because your brain follows your words. Say what you want to become, not just what you've been. Let's wrap this section with one more story. Alex was 35, a freelance designer. He'd never saved more than $500 at a time. Every time he tried, something derailed him. One day, he made a promise. "I'm going to become the type of man who keeps promises to himself." He didn't start with spreadsheets. He started with identity. He created a weekly check-in ritual. He wrote his goal on his bathroom mirror. He tracked his wins, not just dollars, but habits. Within a year, he saved $8, paid off his credit card, and booked a trip for his parents. Not because of strategy, but because of story. Your financial story isn't written yet, and you hold the pen. In the next segment, we'll bring everything together into a practical 30-day roadmap you can implement starting today. Welcome to your 30-day financial goal reset plan. This roadmap is built to create immediate momentum, without overwhelm. Let's walk through it. Week 1. Clarity. Write down 1 to 3 financial goals. Make each one SMART. Define your emotional why for each. Calculate exact monthly targets. Rank your goals by urgency and stage: survival, stability, growth. End of week 1. You should know what you want, why you want it, and what it will take. Week 2. Systems. Open a separate savings or investment account for each goal. Automate a small recurring transfer, even $10 per week. Pick a tracking system, spreadsheet, app, or printable chart. Schedule a weekly 15-minute money check-in. By the end of week 2, you've built the infrastructure for action. Week 3. Behavior. Identify 1 to 2 habits that support your goals, e.g. meal prep. Cash envelopes. Eliminate 1 to 2 behaviors that sabotage your goals, e.g. late-night browsing. Impulsive buys. Use visual cues, sticky notes, calendar reminders, or phone alarms. Reward yourself for consistency, track streaks, not perfection. Week 4. Reflection and reset. Review the past 3 weeks. What worked? What didn't? What felt easy? What felt draining? Adjust your goals, numbers, or timeline if needed. This is how you stay in motion. Because flexibility is not failure, it's wisdom. If you hit 70% of your actions, you're winning. If you mess up a week and get back on track, you're stronger than most. This 30-day system works because it's not built on hype. It's built on habits. And when habits align with your goals, success becomes inevitable. Here's what I want you to do after this episode. 1. Write your top goal on a sticky note and place it somewhere visible. 2. Take one small action toward it. Open an account. Make a transfer. Cancel an app. 3. Tell one person your goal, or message me, and say, I'm in. You're not in this alone. Financial change is hard, yes, but it's not impossible. And the most powerful thing you can do is start. Not tomorrow, not when you get a raise, not when the market calms down. Now, right now, because motion beats meditation, action beats anxiety, and clarity beats chaos. You have what it takes. You always have. In the final segment, I'll leave you with a 5-rule code to guide every financial goal you'll ever set, for the rest of your life. Here are the 5 enduring rules of financial goal setting. Live by these, and your goals won't just be written, they'll be realized. Rule 1. Clarity beats complexity. The simpler the goal, the more likely it sticks. Don't make it fancy, make it clear. Save $500 in 3 months. Become financially free someday. Clarity tells your brain exactly what to aim at. Rule 2. Identity over outcome. Don't just aim for results. Become the kind of person who creates them. I am someone who reviews my money weekly. I am someone who pays herself first. These identities build outcomes without burnout. Rule 3. Systems create success. Willpower fades. Systems stay. Build your goals into your schedule. Automate transfers. Use reminders. Stack new habits onto existing ones. Your calendar should reflect your goals. If it doesn't, they're just wishes. Rule 4. Progress is the real prize. Celebrate momentum. Track every win. Even saving $10 matters, because it builds belief. Don't wait until the finish line to feel proud. Every step forward deserves recognition. Rule 5. Adjust. Don't abandon. Life will throw curveballs. Budgets break. Plans shift. That's okay. Don't give up. Adjust. Change the number, the timeline, the strategy. Just don't stop. Because financial mastery isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. And now, I'll leave you with this. Financial goals are not just about money. They are about self-trust, self-respect, and self-creation. When you set a goal and follow through, you're telling yourself, I am worthy of progress. I am capable of change. I can shape my future. That's power. That's freedom. And that's why this work matters. This has been Money Mind Unlocked. I'm Scott Blaze. Until next time, set bold goals. Take small steps. And never stop building the life you know you deserve. Let's revisit something important: the difference between goal setting and goal designing. Goal setting is when you say what you want. Goal designing is when you shape the world around you to make that goal happen almost automatically. You don't just say, "I want to save more." You open a high-yield savings account, set up an automatic transfer for payday, and create a trigger that reminds you every time you get paid. You don't just say, "I want to stop overspending." You delete shopping apps from your phone. Set a 24-hour delay rule before buying anything over $50, and keep a spending reflection journal. The design is where the change happens. Here's what that might look like in real life. Samantha wanted to pay off $9 in credit card debt. She'd tried before, but always quit by month 2. This time, she built a design. She split her direct deposit into 2 accounts. The larger one was for essentials. The second was for debt payments and savings. She texted a friend every Friday with her updated debt total, and every $1 paid off. She celebrated with a small, planned reward. What happened? She paid off the full $9 in 11 months. Not because she worked harder, but because she made the decision once. And let the system do the work. This is how the wealthy behave differently. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on mechanisms. They build default success. If your goals aren't working, ask yourself, what decisions am I still forcing myself to make every day? Every decision costs mental energy. Reduce those decisions, and your goals will take care of themselves. Another underrated tool? Visual cues. Print your goals. Put them on your fridge. Use post-it notes on your mirror. Change your phone lock screen to your savings tracker. Because your environment influences your execution. You think your mind drives your behavior. But in many ways, your surroundings do more. So edit your surroundings until they align with your vision. Here's a checklist to close out with. 1. Do you know your exact financial goal and why it matters to you emotionally? 2. Do you have a system that supports progress without constant effort? 3. Do you track progress visually or numerically? 4. Do you review your goal weekly? 5. Do you have someone who holds you accountable, or at least supports you? 6. Do you have rewards built into the journey? 7. Do you forgive slip-ups quickly and return to the plan? If you answered yes to most of these, you're in motion. Keep going. If not, don't worry. Now you know what's missing. Fill the gap. Because it's not just about money. It's about mastery. And every goal you follow through on increases that mastery. You're not chasing numbers. You're becoming someone powerful enough to reach them. That's the secret. And the greatest part? You don't need to wait to feel that power. You can choose it now. You can choose it today. Because your goals are not just about what you'll earn or save. They're about who you'll become in the process. That's the real win. That's the kind of wealth no one can take from you. So let's bring everything full circle. Setting financial goals that actually work isn't about having perfect discipline or magical tools. It's about clarity, emotion, and environment. It's about turning abstract desires into visible, trackable, actionable realities. It's about building trust with yourself. When you say you'll save, and you do, it's not the money that changes first. It's you. When you set a plan, and you follow through, it's not just your bank account that grows. It's your self-worth. Because money goals, when done right, aren't about pressure. They're about permission. Permission to believe you're capable. Permission to dream. Permission to act like your future matters enough to protect. You don't need anyone's approval to set a financial goal. You don't need a perfect income. You need a reason, a system, a decision. You need to start where you are, with the truth, not the wish. From there, build one habit, one action, one win, then another. Stack them until your results stop surprising you, because they've become expected. That's the power of this process. That's what you're building. A life designed by intention, not reaction. A future shaped by commitment, not circumstance. This is how you set goals that actually work. And you're ready. I believe in you. And I'll be here, every step of the way. This has been Money Mind Unlocked. I'm Scott Blaze. Go build the life your future self will thank you for.